Thinking about moving to LA? Well, pack your bags and let me tell you the pros, cons, the good and the bad, the great and the ugly of LA. And let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Talks with Kadeja, where we talk a little bit about everything. So, yes, the setup is a little bit different. I am in my car right now. I am door dashing, so it was kind of a side quest, multitasking. Follow your dreams, guys. LA is the city of angels. It's where everyone moves there to follow their passions, their dreams, and follow opportunities, no matter what they may be. The weather's beautiful, the people are bright. It's just such a beautiful city. But are you really meant to be there? So, the first thing I'm going to go to is purpose. And also, I have timestamps below if you are interested in seeing a certain section. So, I want to give you this. I really want you to really sit and wonder why you want to go to LA. And the reason I say this is because LA isn't going to be what you think it is. Now, I'm not saying this as in a good or bad way. It's more of what your purpose is, because LA is not what people think LA is going to be. And that's why a lot of people either move or stay there for a very long time. It really is about what your why is, because there are going to be times in your life where you might be like, what is my purpose of being here? The way you expect something to be may not always happen the way you think. So what I will always say when going to LA or thinking about moving to LA, do not have an expectation of LA. That's what I mean. Because I feel like you see it in movies, on social media, you see it in this way, or you hear from people like, oh, it's bad, it's good, whatever. If you follow that expectation of it being good or bad, you're not going to enjoy yourself because you have an expectation of it. So I think you should go to LA with open arms and just be like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. That's how you enjoy your trips. Because a lot of people from California, like, they'll tell you things that could be helpful, like, don't go to this area, that's fine. But when they're like, oh, this is bad, that's bad, then it already kind of messes up your perception. So I really just say take everything with a grain of salt. Because some people told me some stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I see that. And other people told me some stuff. I was like, oh, that really isn't what I saw in that. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has their own unique experience. Find your reason. Is it because of the weather? Is it because your opportunity? Is it what? Because what LA is going to be is not going to be what you expect. That's down. Now we got that out the way. I'll tell you a little bit about my journey and we'll go into the pros and cons, okay? The first thing that I'll tell you is I went, actually was there last year for almost a half a year. And it was because I was in college and we have a program where you can go to different states for a period of time. And I chose Los Angeles because I'm a media production major. So I was like, and I loved it. Like, it was a really good experience for me. And that's why I feel, called to make this video for people who are thinking about making the jump. Because I was nervous, honey. I was scared. And people were telling me all types of stuff. But now I want to move back, and I do plan on moving back in the next year. I plan on it. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is not exactly the pros and cons, but kind of like different things that I noticed. And the first thing we're going to talk about is opportunities and networking. A lot of people go to LA because of the opportunities in the job market. And the thing I'll tell you about LA, especially for my experience, it is a little bit on the more difficult side to get a job there, just because a lot of people expect you to be established there. It's really hard when you don't have a network system, or you don't know people, or you haven't moved there yet. A lot of people, it can be very hard to find a job there, or even if it's not even an entertainment, but like even like retail stores and stuff like that. Like, it can be a little more on the difficult side to find a job there. My advice to you is to either have money, like maybe 3 to 6 months of rent saved there, and then go from there. Or I would recommend, the one thing I will say about LA is there is so much to do. There's so many ways to volunteer. I would recommend volunteering a lot at like shows or at like, and I will like pop up some things like, live tapings or a casting, being a background actor, those type of things. It is a very gig-based city. I would recommend DoorDashing, Amazon, whatever you got to do, because finding an actual network, like if you're really trying to find a job, I would recommend just really either saving some money or doing some gigs or like something that's going to propel you to kind of get into that area and kind of get into that environment. Because baby, I'm gonna tell you right now, getting a job there is not the easiest, but I will say it is for opportunity. Doing a lot of side quests will probably be your success in LA. Do random shit, like really the most random stuff you can think about. That's how I would say you would be successful for sure. The weather. To me, I love the weather. The weather is nice. It is always sunny. The whole few months I was there, it probably only rained maybe 2 or 3 times, and it wasn't even really raining for real, or it's like sprinkling, but it does rain there, just not very, like, it rained 2 or 3 times, and the weather is pretty similar, like, basically all year. Now, in the summer, they do go through some heat waves, ain't gonna lie, it do get hot in the summer, but I'm from the South, and baby, ain't nothing like the South heat, so it didn't bother me that much. But yeah, like the weather is nice. It's always sunny. I want to talk about cultural diversity there. It is so diverse there. It's a very big Hispanic population there, a very big Korean population there, and like other different ethnic groups there. I really recommend you going deep into the culture, because surrounding yourself with that culture, oh my gosh, is so so beautiful. When I mean it's beautiful, bitch, it is beautiful. Like the culture of, you will learn so many things. You will learn different things about different cultures. They have so many museums, so many places, so many clubs, whatever that is surrounded by culture. And I would recommend really immersing yourself in it. And that's how you meet a lot of different people. That's how I've met so many people. There's like just going to a lot of cultural events. I recommend that. And people love LA there. Like, oh my gosh, the way they freaking the way they freaking love LA, they love it, honey. And what I mean by that is they literally like LA, like they rep California to a whole nother level. Like they love LA. Like people are very proud to be from California. And another thing that people talk about that I personally don't think is true is how the people are. Now, a lot of people say California people are rude, but I didn't really get that experience. Now, am I gonna say they as nice as people from the South where I stay at? No, ma'am, they're not. But I think it's more, first, a lot of people from California aren't even from California or from LA, so that's that. And I'm from Nashville, so it's the same thing. Like, not everyone's from Nashville, so yeah. The second thing that I say is California people just more mind their business. Like they're not really like it definitely does take an effort for you to go up to them. Like you have, like as a southern person, like you kind of don't have to have as much effort to go up to people because they'll probably go up to you already. But if you're from Cal, like if you're in LA, like people are not as gravitated to go up to you as they are in the South. And some people are not, I just don't think they're really that rude. They just mind their own business and they're not going to go in deep conversation. They're really chill, really laid back people. I don't think California people are mean. I think they're pretty nice. They're not as nice as here, but they're definitely like just chill. And now I'm going to talk about a little bit more of like, I guess the cons or like things that like could be a little bit difficult when going to LA. And a lot of it is pretty cliche, but the first one is obviously the cost of living. Yes, the cost of living is a lot, it is expensive. But one thing that I'll say, you really can find loopholes in LA. I will always say that. It ain't as expensive if you find it to not be as expensive. Because wherever you go, things are going to be high. Like Nashville, it's expensive already. But I think you gotta use it people are like, oh, well, it's hard to live there. I say, yeah. But also, too, you can find ways. Taco Tuesday, the tacos be $2. You don't need the newest car or the newest shoes. Like, it does take a lot of budgeting, but you really can find loopholes and you really can make it work. Because LA, there's so much there. There's so much in LA. So you can really make it work. You just have to kind of see and find how to make it work, if that makes sense. Traffic and transportation. Okay, traffic isn't great, but it to me is not as bad as people say it is. But maybe because I'm from Nashville and traffic is already like not that great here, so I'm kind of used to it. But personally, I don't think LA traffic is as bad as people. Now it can be bad, and I have been in traffic for like an hour before, so it definitely can be. In transportation, having a car, you can also ride the train and the bus as well too. But having a car will probably benefit you a lot more. I do recommend having a car when you go to LA because nothing is walkable unless you live in like downtown or like if you live in an area where everything's kind of everywhere, then maybe. But yeah, the traffic and another thing that people say about LA is like, yeah, like you tend to if you stay in let's say you stay in like downtown LA, baby, you're gonna stay in downtown LA. Like people kind of stay in their sections because traffic is really far. So I'd recommend like if you have a job or whatever to just live where everything's kind of near. So like you're not struggling as much. I personally don't think traffic is as bad as they say. It is bad, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. The loneliness and competition. This is a big one. LA can get lonely because especially if you don't know nobody and it can be overwhelming because you're in a big city. I was kind of sad for the first couple of weeks. And what I will tell you is one thing that I'll tell you is you do have to be the person to reach out, especially in California. People are not just going to sit there and reach out to you. Like it is one of those things that you do have to do that. But one thing that I recommend is solo. So be solo. Like that really is what I recommend. The way you make friends is you got to go out. You can't make friends in your apartment. I think using Bumble Friends is a good one or like using Meetup, Meet Me or something like that where you can like go on groups and like do group things together. Like there are some online resources that I'll give to you where you can do. Eventbrite is a good one. LA is such a big city and it's such a niche city, so you literally can find whatever you want there. Like literally, like if you're into like the weirdest shit, like you will find that weirdest shit right there because it's LA. Like everyone's into the probably the same thing you're into. So I would recommend giving yourself a couple weeks to settle and get into the energy, but don't stay in that because what's going to happen is you are going to get lonely and you are going to get depressed and it's going to be harder for you. The more you wait, the harder it is for you to be the harder for you it is for you to make friends. 100% is people are like, oh, it's competition. There are people that are not going to want to be your friend. Yeah, that's true. There are going to be people out there that are kind of going to be thinking about themselves a little bit more than you. And I feel like that's really with any city. Honestly, that's kind of any industry. Honestly, that's kind of anybody. Like, there's going to be people that are going to use you. I think it really, like, people, you just have to you got to just be secure in yourself. That's really my recommendation is like, you just have to be secure. I feel like when you go to LA, you just have to know who you are because, baby, people are gonna try you. But the thing is like, okay, like people will try you in a fucking small town. Like it really don't matter where you go. So I just recommend going to different apps and going to a lot of places. Like do a solo date once a week, and that's how you meet people. Just do shit by yourself because a lot of people are doing it in LA too. So my recommendation is to visit LA first. If you ain't visited or stayed there more than a week, I would recommend doing that to see if you actually want to go. So, what are my tips? Before we end this video, I'm going to give you a few tips, smart tips, basically, to help you a little bit on your journey. Save up to 3 to 6 months. I recommend saving a little bit of money because it may be a little hard to find a job there at first, if that, or find a way to like, or at least have a plan. At least have a plan to like save your money, a plan to go there because finances will probably be an important conversation for yourself. So I would just recommend just 3 to 6 months, save up some money. Okay. I would recommend another thing is start networking online before you arrive. So one thing that I would recommend is just go to Facebook groups or like, the apps that I'll have down below to just network and to just find people because Maybe if you have a couple of friends, at least you'll have a start than just going by yourself. Because you can make friends. It just may be a little harder because you're there and you're overwhelmed and you're trying to move in. So I'd recommend just doing that, like just meeting people online so it'll be a little bit easier, you know. If you are into roommates, you can do shared housing and like do roommates, but I personally wouldn't do that, but you can do that. Prioritize your mental health. That's what I'm saying. Before you go to LA, you need to, you'll never be truly ready, but you need to have some security within yourself, because I will say LA is one of those places like you just have to be secure in yourself, especially if you're trying to make friends. And be patient, honey. I've heard people, it took them 2 to 5 years to even find a community or